Hi students, warm greetings of the day. In this session, I am going to discuss some important topics related to the chapter The Hour of Truth by Percival Wilde. The topics that I would like to go through are the theme of the play The Hour of Truth, its message, character sketches, and some questions that may come in the examination. The Hour of Truth by Percival Wilde is a striking psychological study on the corrupting influence of money on people. The play gives psychological insights into the workings of human minds, especially at the prospect of earning a huge amount of wealth. The play presents the universal and contemporary theme of greed and its various effects. The message of the play is about how a person can overcome the corrupting influence of money by fixing himself constant and virtuous. The hero in the play, Robert Baldwin, remains constant and virtuous even though he is tempted. The play also gives the message of how honesty is abundantly repaid in the end. Virtue will be rewarded in the end. Now I move on to the character sketches of the main characters in the play The Hour of Truth by Percival Wilde. The protagonist of the play, the most important character in the play, is Robert Baldwin, the head of the Baldwin family. He is just and honest. He is also very sincere in his work. He has been working as an employee in a bank owned by John Gresham. He is very loyal to John Gresham and he did not allow his wife to withdraw the money from his bank because he thought that it was not loyal to his boss Gresham. Unfortunately, the bank crashes and he loses his job. And the owner of the bank is arrested for misappropriating the funds of the depositors. John Gresham sent for him as he is the only witness against him, and John Gresham requests him to tell those 3 words in the court so that he can save his skin. Tell those 3 words, I don't remember. But Robert Baldwin says, I have got only a few years to live and I will live those as I live the rest of my life. I will go to my grave clean. He also says, if he tried to speak those 3 words in the court, it would choke him. It would be easy for some other people, but for Robert Baldwin, his entire past would rise and strike him in the face if he tried to utter those 3 words in the court. It would mean to the world that for years he had been living a lie. He was not a honorable man as he thought he was. When John Gresham offered him that huge amount of money, he was angry and he refused it. John Gresham did not show any surprise there. Then he was pleased because it was a supreme compliment. John Gresham has known Robert Baldwin for 35 years. Anyone who has known Robert Baldwin for 35 years does not expect him to haggle with his conscience. He is morally upright and honest. Though all persuades him to accept the money, he is the same as he has been known for, being true to himself. He not only refuses to accept the bribe, but also refuses to tell a lie in the court. For Baldwin, a crime is a crime, however small or big it is. Towards the end of the play, we find that his honesty is repaid abundantly. He is offered a job by Mr. Marshall, the president of a prestigious and huge bank, the Third National. So we can say that towards the end, virtue is rewarded. The three other main characters in the play are Martha, his wife, John, a 27-year-old young man, his son, and Evie, his daughter. At the beginning of the play, we find that all these characters are morally upright and virtuous. They are very honest. They want Mr. Gresham to be punished. They want their father to tell truth in the court so that Mr. Gresham will be sent to the prison. But when they know about the huge offer of $100,000 made by John Gresham to their father, to Robert Baldwin, they are shocked and surprised. They are tempted or lured by the prospect of earning that huge amount of wealth. Now they start persuading Robert Baldwin to accept that huge amount of wealth and save Gresham from prison. Earlier, all the members in the family, they have been proud of the head of the family, Robert Baldwin. But now they start persuading Robert Baldwin accept the huge amount offered to him by Gresham. They come up with some more other excuse and persuade Robert Baldwin to accept the bribe money. They cannot resist the unresistible charm of the tingling of money. They become so avaricious. Now I move on to some of the questions that will come in the examination. The first question: prepare a write-up on the opening and ending of the play The Hour of Truth by Percival Wilde. At the beginning of the play, you find a description of the scene. The play takes place in a trim little cottage of Robert Baldwin. It is rather a hot and sultry Sunday afternoon. The blazing sun overhead and the baked clay underfoot are merciless. In the distance, there are some lowering clouds which promise coming relief. The weather clearly indicates that the family members are very anxious, they are very tensed. They are anxiously awaiting the arrival of the head of the family, Robert Baldwin. He has gone to meet John Gresham, and the next day he is going to give evidence against Gresham in the court. Now Robert Baldwin comes, and there is a slight relief to the tension. It starts raining when he comes back to his house. That means there is a slight relief to the tension when the head of the family arrives. Again, the tension mounts as the members of the family come to realize the huge amount of money offered to them by Mr. Gresham. They start persuading Robert Baldwin to accept that huge amount of wealth. There is mounting pressure and mounting tension. But this tension, this stress, everything is relieved towards the end of the play as Robert Baldwin is abundantly repaid for his honesty. He gets a job in a very famous, huge and prestigious bank, the Third National. Everything is sold and settled towards the end of the play. So the opening and ending of the play have great importance in the play. The other questions that you can expect from this particular chapter are character sketches. I have already gone through almost all the important traits of the various characters in the play. You can expect at least one question from this area to prepare a character sketch of any of the important characters in the play The Hour of Truth by Percival Wilde. Another question that may come in your examination is prepare an essay or a speech on how corruption curtails the development of a nation. When you think about that question, you have to keep in your view three important areas. The first one, the reasons for corruption. What are the reasons for corruption? The first one, insincerity. Then there is a lack of commitment to society. Another reason is extravagant family. The pressure exerted by the family members. Greed. Consumerism. Our needs are increasing day by day in a consumerist world. And this leads to corruption. Excessive love for worldly pleasures, etc. can be considered as some of the reasons for corruption. The next area that we have to keep in our view is the evils of corruption. Services will be delayed or services will not be provided in time. Merit will not be rewarded. Diligence, hard work, honesty and integrity will not be valued. Corruption prevents development. It blocks development. Money becomes God and there will be an erosion of values. These are some of the evil effects of corruption. And the third area that you have to keep in your view when you prepare an essay or a speech on how corruption curtails development is how can we overcome corruption? How can we discourage corruption? Strict punishment should be given to those people who offer and accept bribes. There should be strict laws and strict enforcement of these laws. People should be made aware of the problems of corruption. Students should be taught from their childhood that a crime is a crime, however big or small it is. A bribe is a bribe, however big or small it is. Corruption is corruption, however big or small it is. These three areas are to be focused when you are asked to prepare a speech or essay on the problems of corruption, how corruption curtails development of a nation. These are some of the questions that may come in your examination. Go through the text carefully. Try to internalize the points that I have discussed in this session and be equipped for your exams. That's all for the day. Thank you.